Hi Nora, my advice for you in regards to the French guy is, um, look, if you live not only in other countries but in other time zones and in other continents, and how long the fling was a brief fling with a French guy, and you felt it was fun, and maybe it could be more than that, but I think that the practicalities indicate otherwise, and emailing for a while is good, but the thing about computer mediated communication, and I promise I will not go on too much about this sort of stuff because it's not really. I mean, I'm very interested in these sorts of things, but it's not really going to help you all that much if I go on a massive tangent, even though I see the apple right there and I really want to grab it. But the abridged version of what I was going to say is that computer mediated communication has a lower bandwidth. So things become compressed. By that I mean that the richness of information available in the old tete-a-tete, that's French. So maybe you can put that in and impress your French boyfriend. Not that he's your boyfriend anymore. Anyway, yeah, lower bandwidth, so you don't get as much subtlety, you don't get as much richness, you don't get as much feedback. It's ultimately, for some people, when it comes to a feeling, a rich sort of electric connection, rather than, having a kind of like projectile kind of soliloquy of self-expression, uninterrupted by other people. That this is the thing, because you do mention emailing. It's not like you're chatting or you're Skyping, which it could be. But even then, like the delays and the moments, the sort of pixelations, it's good, but as sort of has as a subtext that sort of has come in to this book, the importance of sex and touching and that sort of stuff, which is obviously not a channel in Skype, and there are some crazy Japanese inventions to sort of plug that void, but it's really weird, and probably if it was a brief fling, I think it would be a very particular man that would be at all intrigued, unless you sort of contextualized it in a way that's very clever. Anyway, I'm not suggesting you buy any of those sorts of things to like plug that channel that is in Skype, but what I was getting at was that maybe it's just really hard for him. If he's not going to go to America, like if he's studying or if he's working, if he's invested in France, and if you're invested in America, I don't know like what you think is going to happen. And it's funny because my best friend actually had a sort of a scenario not dissimilar to this, but to be fair, not similar, because it was her home country and she was always going to come back, and sort of, there is this myth of being for the right person, but I do think our knowledge of any other person at all is, and the experience, the sort of a deep understanding of having someone else's subjective experience completely understood up here, I think is, like you're moving into quite in-depth sort of philosophical areas when we talk about that sort of stuff, and it's not really necessary, but the point is that this for the right person thing might not be as important as like for the right person for the life that I want, whereby I want to have a lover that I can make love to. And I don't think that that's an unreasonable expectation. I mean, if it is like, if he's got to wait like a few months, whatever, then, and he doesn't want to do that, then that's then that's, that his need for immediate gratification is so um, forceful. But then that's a bad sign in and of itself. But if you live in other continents and there's no future plans to ever be together, I don't know what you want. Also, the thing about email is that we get, like, how many emails do we get a day? Seriously, we get a lot. We get Facebook, email, la la la. Unless there is a broader reinforcement, like this is why part of the reason why Facebook is so successful is because it is a kind of it's a reinforcement, and tends to as well, like a transverse, or the purely digital realm by the distribution of documents that relate to real life events, like photographic sort of documentation of events that happened at particular parties, that people were there, and indicate that people had a good time IRL, or organising and planning events, or like making contact with people that not purely via the internet, that there is going to be some kind of reinforcement of when you are in co-proximate space. Also because the audience for that is broad. So even if things are between two, that if it's by a wall, there's a broader sort of public audience for people that you may be physically co-proximate with. Again, it's not going to happen with him. So you can get yourself a nice man that lives in your own time zone, and maybe you just liked him because he was French, and that's part of the thing. Like, oh, French is so sexy. Like that's why you like it, and you're not interested in any of that sort of stuff. But look, if you want a lover, and not a cyber sex lover, then what more can I say? Anyway, Nora, you'll be fine. Find somebody that has find a green card winner, and then you know that they're a winner. Yeah. Anyway, it's not a good joke. I don't even know if it counts as a joke. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.